It's cold outside, and we're here for the movie Pain Train. Here with Nathan.
Hello.
Hi, Nathan.
Hello. I was just talking to an Australian, and I told him it was very cold, and he said that we have different scales of temperature, and I pointed out that at -40, it's the same temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Tomorrow it's -34 wind chill. Christ.
Really? Oh, God.
So we're here to see a movie. It's 8:25 on Valentine's Day
Friday the
Eve.
13th.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're also here with
Totally
Jeff,
bodes well. Yes, I am here.
coming here to watch the movie Pain Train. So the movie that we're going to see, we have a choice of two of them. My guys might as well just get into shot together.
Snuggle?
Yeah. Yeah. So we have two movies we're going to possibly see. One of them is going to be Seventh Son. And the other one is going to be Jupiter Ascending. Both of them start at the exact same time.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh, yeah. So finish with your
Oh,
explanation.
go ahead. No,
well, good. So we're gonna flip a coin to
Yes.
decide which one we're gonna see. So we don't know which one we're gonna see.
No.
But I convinced myself to be optimistic about both of them.
Okay.
That's a challenge.
The way I did it, here we go. So, Seventh Son. So far, the most successful movie we've watched on the Pain Train was a very lowly rated, everybody hated it and told us not to like it, Greek mythology film.
Yeah.
I.e. Hercules, the Rocketing.
Well,
So
you enjoyed that one.
there we go, come on, he suplexes a horse. Fucking centaurs. So, maybe this will be that again? Fingers crossed. And then, Jupiter Rising, Ascending, Jupiter going upwards. I'm just hopeful it'll be another speed racer
Yeah.
where everybody hates it, but it's very beautiful and warm.
Yeah. It's getting
Jupiter. It's not going to be warm.
Her name's Jupiter, and she looks pretty warm.
I don't know. I want to see Jupiter rising if
Kunis.
she's Jupiter. Yeah, so that's fine. But
Jupiter's got me rising.
well, yes.
It
There.
has two headlights that are rising.
It's an erection joke.
I see.
Are you not as optimistic as I am? Because I'm not.
To be honest, I know almost nothing of Jupiter elevating other than Mila Kunis, and I mean,
Aliens.
okay.
Yeah.
I,
In space
oh, okay.
and Earth.
That narrows the movie down to a pinpoint as far as what it's covering.
Yeah. It's like Last Tango in Paris meets Harry and the Hendersons with a little Battlestar Galactica thrown in.
It sounds like ramen salad.
You had me at Harry and the Hendersons.
Anything with John Lithgow is good in my books.
Yeah.
I'm more hopeful for Seventh Son, just because I was disappointed with Hercules that they showed all these awesome monster fights and then it was like, nope, all fake, go away.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's the opposite of that.
You want to see Clash of the Titans with the dude.
Yes, yes.
No, it's Rooster Cogburn.
It's Rooster Cogburn.
Yeah.
I don't care. I want to see big ass monster fights, and if the rest of the movie is just like, hey, that's
Ass
a
monster?
yes, ass monster.
You want to see big ass monsters.
No. Although,
Okay.
although speaking of terrifying ass things, just as a complete tangent, apparently there's a site where you can get chocolate molds of your butthole that you can give out
Yes,
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That is
I heard that on JJ.
terrifying.
Yeah.
I kind of want to do it.
Yeah. You want the chocolate molds in my butthole?
No, I just want to do that
Too
to hand out
late.
to people.
Don't check your mail.
All right, so we're gonna flip a coin, and then we're gonna
Yes.
go watch this horrible thing.
All
So
right.
which one?
Could be wonderful.
Heads will be Jupiter Ascending. And, ooh, it's a Wisconsin one. That was not on purpose. Tails, it'll be Seventh Son.
All right.
Oh, God.
I hope you're proud of yourself.
Oh, God. I chose poorly.
I have been searching for you, Mr. Ward.
Thousands of years ago, an alliance was formed to protect the world from the forces of darkness.
You are the seventh son of the seventh son.
It says here that there are 1,000.
We are all that's left.
The world of man shall fall.
Starting to wish I was a sixth son.
Looks all right.
That'll work.
Get witches.
I keep skeletons in my house. Why? I don't know.
Stay in your room.
Stay in your room, or the monsters I own will attack you.
So we just got back from seeing Seventh Son, and hey, it's that's a paycheck for for Jeff Bridges.
It is. Well, we should probably summarize the movie first.
Summarize it, okay.
Yes.
So punch yourself in whatever genitals you have, and keep doing it,
Yeah, slowly.
and then don't see Seventh Son.
It wasn't that bad.
It was the worst thing we've done.
No, it was not.
No.
It-
No.
Are you saying Dracula Untold was better than that?
Yes.
I will. No, you are wrong.
You're wrong. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. You don't like this film at all. We can definitely tell. So you saying RoboCop was better than this?
All right. I'll rescind worst ever. This was, however, unsalvageably bad.
No, not unsalvageably.
I will say, once the movie was over, I was kind of overjoyed, but at the same time, it was kind of a
That's Stockholm Syndrome.
maybe, but it was. I was more laughing at the stupidity of everything going through the movie, which there was a lot of stupidity going through the movie. You know, like starting off with.
Well, I mean, we start off and the guy is just hammering an undisclosed female voice in a hole.
In a hole.
He's just locking this voice like, please no, don't.
He's your hero.
Yeah.
In the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
I mean, that was obviously the Grand Canyon where he stored her at. But where did the rest of the movie take place? I assume Europe?
Yeah.
That means, how did he get his wagon with retarded version of Jason Statham all the way to the United States to drop her off and then come
I don't
back?
think this is set in the real world.
Oh, that
Just going out on a limb there because of,
Okay. Maybe.
random, witches floating around. And
I guess I should rescind what I said. I didn't mean retarded Jason Statham. Just Jason Statham from the freak out phase in Crank 2.
Even crankier.
Yeah.
You have to always have the subtitle.
Even
Crank 2, even crankier.
Or Crank Shaft. That should be the next one! Oh my god!
I just like crankier.
So, I guess, Jeff, we should probably go over the plot so.
All right, you go over the plot. I'll imagine not having seen this.
Okay.
all right, so our primary, I'll call him the protagonist because he's much more interesting than the real protagonist, is basically traps this witch in a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
And expects that this iron grate's gonna hold forever and ever. And a big surprise, 5 minutes in the film, it doesn't, and she's out.
That was a decade at least. Good
Yeah,
job,
yeah.
decade.
Yeah.
Woo! It's a long-term goal. So,
Yeah.
and
It may have been longer than a decade, wasn't it?
No, he says it was a decade.
it was
later.
about 10 years.
Weren't you paying attention to the intricate plot,
Oh,
Andrew?
yeah, darn.
So they quickly follow that up by having our protagonist now suddenly old and unable to actually speak with his jaw and only his lips.
It's been a rough decade.
Yes.
I mean, Earth's been a rough decade. Earth's been a rough decade.
Even more so, you come to find out that the hero of the story, not the hero of the story, but the main, the mentor.
Yes, the mentor figure.
He's just lazy.
I can't even remember his name. What the hell was it?
Something G.
Bill, Jiggle, Jinger, Gerald, Benjamin, Gregory.
Gregory. There we go. Yes.
You find out that he's mainly just
And the
lazy.
villain's name was Macaw, or something similar. She was Mama Macaw.
No, it was Malkin.
Malkin.
Malkin. Because bad family.
Mama Malkin.
Yeah. So, but you find out that the main character, basically Jeff Bridges' character, is really just lazy. He doesn't do anything except for just like spout off unintelligible things to a random kid who somehow understands what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
He talks like Assy McGee.
Holy
It's Assy
shit.
McGee if he was a witcher.
So it's Assy McGee with Jason Statham from Crank 2.
With Jon Snow as a sidekick.
Jon Snow as a sidekick. Yep.
Yeah.
And Maude from Big Lebowski.
Maude as cheap, generic knockoff Maleficent.
She, actually, to be honest with you, that is one of the first movies where she really looked nice.
Yeah.
In a long time. I mean, Julianne Moore, she's hot, generally. But this movie, she really looked more hot than
When she doesn't have, like bad costume
yes.
claw hands.
Yeah, bad costume claw hands, I could not deal with those.
I like to imagine her trying to, like, open a beer with those big claw hands, just trying to get under
well, she would just outside and just go.
shotgun it.
Yeah, that's what I think.
She's not even good at, like, killing with
Dialing
those
a
things.
phone.
Half the death scene, she's, like, lightly clawing them. Like, are you dying yet? How about now? Yes, now you're dead because the special effects kicked in.
She has a metal tail.
I thought that was kind of fun.
So, Captain Unintelligible traps a witch, ages a shit ton in a decade, witch escapes, sidekick dies, needs new sidekick.
Yes. And then we actually get to the protagonist.
There's a pig farmer, which I thought was shades of
Gray?
Black Cauldron.
Shades of Grey.
No, Black Cauldron.
Black
And
Cauldron.
actually, very much so now that you mention it, because
Yeah.
they give away right away he's got strange future-telling powers.
He's tending the pig, there's people having visions. I'm like, hey, where's the Horned King? No such luck.
Yeah. So basically, Gregory shows up and very non-discreetly buys.
Just throws a sack of money at his parents. Goes,
Yeah.
I'm buying your kid, bye.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Later.
He just pours it out like, that seems enough.
There's the great
At least I got 6 more of you.
It was a great awkward moment when the protagonist is rowing away from the farm, because of course lazy guy doesn't row, and the mom shouts after, keep my son safe, and Gregory's just like, I can't promise that. Like, not loud enough for her to hear, just loud enough for the kid to hear.
Yeah.
It was in the boys.
Ooh, so you're not gonna keep me safe then?
Like the boy of the scene was going, what the fuck are you talking about?
He's like, it took me 10 years to train all my last apprentice, but I got a week to do it with you. I don't have time. I'm going to bed.
Alright.
Yeah, that's basically, he hauls him over to his secret hideout with all these awesome weapons and then says, don't touch anything, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
So, of course, he sneaks out and touches things.
No, he opens a door so he gets attacked by a demon skeleton in murder armor.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you just keep those lying around your house,
You know?
in case you need one.
Yeah. Everyone needs a demonic skeleton, Well, just don't
I've
look
got 3 in
into
the broom
mask
closet.
itself,
Just
and then
keep
you're
this,
fine.
isn't there like a safety he can keep on so it doesn't reanimate?
I think the safety is smashing it with a club until it stops moving. That's the safety.
Well, maybe that's why he's down to the Legion of One, because, they keep shit like that around. They make this big deal out of, like, there used to be 1,000 of you. How come you're the only one left? Like, because they're all dead, is basically the explanation they give.
They're all drunken idiots.
Yeah.
He was the least drunken and least lazy of all of them, shockingly enough. He had sexy facial hair, though.
That's true.
He did have some pretty awesome facial hair.
So there's a pro for the movie. Awesome facial hair.
Yeah, and then basically they go on a mission.
Oh, there's the plot!
The whole plot is for them to go and kill, what's her name?
Malkin!
Yes.
Which gets
Which
sidetracked.
is short for the Millennium Falcon.
Yes. Which gets sidetracked about 400 times by random.
Well, it's
Villagers
very
needing
much a
their
video
help.
game setup. Where, like, here's your goal, and we're going to do everything we can to give you obscure side things to deal with and slow you down.
You gotta grind for XP with the side quests.
Yeah, right.
Like, we're on our way to go to the evil queen's castle so that we can stop her plans. Oh, this village says they need our help with a bear. Let's go there and help them. Not like every minute counts. The eclipse is in 3 days. The world will end. We'll just stop to fight this bear.
That just reminds me of, like, the whole during the training montage of it's supposed
Throw
to
a
like a
knife.
day. They cover all the lieutenants. What? Oh.
I forgot the whole throw the knife thing. So the first time he ever throws a knife goes straight at the skull.
Yeah.
It just bounces off. Okay, so he's not that strong enough. So every other shot after that is just him getting further and further away from the skull on the target. It's like every day he's just getting worse.
Although, speaking of the damn knife throwing, that really bothered me. The first scene you see the protagonist in, he's stalking a deer, right?
Yeah.
So you think, like, okay, he's gonna do something cool. Maybe it walks into a trap, maybe he's got a bow, maybe he has magic spells that fire out of his eyeballs. No, he has a knife, like that big, and he throws it at the deer, and misses. But if he would have hit the deer would have been wounded and ran away.
No, the knife, it just instant dies.
Yeah.
That's true. I guess.
That's how knives work in movies.
Every time I hit a ninja, it died.
Hey, those barely count.
But I'm sorry, assassins.
Yeah, they're not ninjas.
Yeah, they're not ninjas. They're just, oh my god.
But
Just what it's
I just had to chuckle during the training montage, like going through all lieutenants, and this is the king of an army of assassins, and this is the lord of swords, and she can turn into a leopard, and
Speaking of turning into a leopard, so Malkin's got a bunch of sidekicks, and they all have their superpower, as every mini boss has, because you have to fight each one on a different level for the video game tie-in.
Yes.
And there's the one that can turn into a leopard, and then there's one who jumps around slightly more efficiently than a normal person and has a tongue.
And he sticks to walls.
Yes. And then there's one with 4 arms that's decent with swords.
He's the master of swords.
He's got 4 arms and he's good with swords. And then you've got the one that turns into a 500-tall invincible dragon that destroys entire cities.
Yes.
He seems slightly better than the other ones.
He's also the most clumsy.
Yeah. And he also has the army of assassins.
But these all, including him, pale in comparison with the one who has, according to the main character, killed more than the rest of them combined, because his power is to turn into a bear that is slightly larger than any other bear.
Yeah, and they quickly dispatch.
Yeah, 2 guys just beat him to death.
Yeah, this thing is killed off. Let's say,
They sent 3 regiments. There was 1 survivor just to get him in that cage.
Yeah,
Which was just another problem. It's like, he's in the cage, we don't know what to kill him with now.
how about fire?
Yeah, right?
Or billion arrows?
No, they need the spook.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The cage is sitting on top of a fire pit. They let him out. They beat him to submission, tie him back into the cage, and then light the fire.
Yes.
Why was letting him out of the cage to beat the crap out of him for a while needed?
They didn't let him out of the cage. He burst out of the cage on his own.
After what?
After everybody left.
After they have had him in that cage so long that they sent people to go get the spook, brought the spook back to town, took him to the king, where the king told him to go to the bear, then went to the bear, and then he broke free.
Yes.
And all that time, nobody lit a fucking match.
Yes. Yeah.
Matches are very rare and powerful too.
Maybe he's the only person. Maybe they didn't properly explain it, or maybe nobody understood him. But maybe he was the only person that could possibly actually kill them.
No,
he was a hunter.
It's fire. Because the other big thing is, remember their big powerful artifact is a staff that does fire things.
Yeah, but it's magical fire.
Is it?
No, I think it's just stupid. I'm going with it. It's stupid.
Oh, we forgot about a great plot point too. At the very beginning of the movie, Mom gives son, her 7th born son, a pendant that's got a little red jewel in the center.
Sure, runes.
Yeah, and you're like, here, just take this. It's for good luck. Never mind you that is the most important thing in this whole damn story. Don't ever lose it.
Yeah. You don't need to mention that to him.
No,
don't
don't mention it to him.
Yeah.
Until he loses it. Yeah, that's when you mentioned that it's the most powerful thing in the thing. Yeah.
You know what else we haven't mentioned? There's a goddamned love interest
Oh yes.
that exists.
And they're not even subtle about it. Yeah, they basically E.T. touch are like, oh, Destiny, we're gonna love each other.
The first time they make... No, not even the first time.
No,
Did she
it's the
touch
second time.
Oh, but
No,
he
that's
didn't
the second
touch her
time.
the first time. He didn't touch her the first time.
Mind you, also when they first show up into town, he's after he was being. We're kind of jumping around in the plot here, like it really matters. But after they rowed the boat ashore, or after he rowed the boat ashore, they went into town to go get quote unquote supplies. So he's been in his stead probably, let's say, less than 10 hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all of that was rowing a boat.
All that was rowing a boat and then traveling to town. So immediately once they get into town, he tells them, "What? Go get me some bacon and some and some rice with some something else and blah blah blah. I love bacon." Yeah. So he sends them off to the mission. He just goes, "I'm going to the tavern to pick up supplies." So he goes to the tavern. He goes off on his own. The village is trying to basically burn a witch at the stake.
It's straight out of Monty Python, by the way.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
line's like, burn her! Burn the witch!
And he just walks up and says, "I'm friends with Gregory. I'm an apprentice, and I know what I'm doing." Meanwhile, I mean, he's...
Hey, they were backed up by a random guy that said, "It's true, I saw him walk into town with Gregory."
Yeah, and he's like, "I'll take care of her." And so he just grabs her and just walks off into an alley and cuts her loose and just lets her go.
Well, to be fair, they were going to burn her as a witch, and she was a witch.
Yeah.
So they were completely correct and accurate.
Which is also the funny part, because the second time he encounters this woman, she's swimming naked in a lake, right?
Dig it?
Yeah. So she's like, turn around, and then she walks out, and she's suddenly on dry land, fully clothed, dry, and at this point in time, he still doesn't piece together that she's a witch. Like, she tells him point blank after
I
that.
forgot her disappearing trick.
Yeah.
Her disappearing trick, which is the greatest disappearing trick in the world.
Don't look.
Hey, close your eyes.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gone.
I wish he'd come out of the alley like, oh my god, she's gone. He turns around and she's just bucking ass down the road.
Or just like leaning on, like hiding behind
Behind
a
a
hay
post. Yeah, the post is this wide and she's just peeking around it.
Oh my god, that whole
I
disappearing.
found a clue.
Yeah, the whole Batman is. Hold on, I need more time to hide.
But here's filmmaking 101. If you have a protagonist and you have a love interest and you want to show that they're star-crossed lovers and that they come from two different worlds and they're
Romeo
destined
and
to be
Juliet
together,
type
the Romeo and Juliet thing, you could hypothetically, over the course of the story, use character progression, plot points, natural emotions, natural responses, and character growth to show this affection and show this love and show why they're for each other despite coming from different world.
Yeah.
Fuck that, it sounds like a lot of work.
Or alternately, they could go, zap! Oh, that blue light means that we're destined to be together. I read it in a book. The end.
Yay!
Literally, that exact sentence.
Or it could be that blue light just meant nothing.
No, they explain that after. Like they put that after, like, oh wait, maybe it meant nothing. Because I wrote poorly and I didn't want to fess up to it.
Here's the thing. After you literally have the character say, that pointless blue light is only there to say that we are destined to be together despite coming from different worlds. Later on, you need conflict. So you should have that same character say, by the way, I might have been wrong, it might not have meant anything. Oh well! But then in a third scene, you can go, turns out destiny, cool then. And then you can end the movie. That's way better than writing.
Oh.
I mean, to be fair, they have to develop a whole, like, destined to be together love arc over the course of a week. Like, it's like day 1, meet girl, day 2, see girl swimming naked, day 3, bone her, day 4, you know.
And note, if you combine those 3 days, from meeting to boning, it was probably 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm being generous. I am being very generous.
Yeah.
Like, because the first time it's got to be like 30 seconds total. The second time's a minute and a half, and the third time's just boom, bumping uglies.
Yeah.
She's a very deep and meaningful character.
Meanwhile, Jason Statham was off in the corner just snoring up a storm.
Oh, God. So then what happens? Then they're attacked by ninjas with battering rams.
Is that before or after the Bogart?
The Bogart. Oh, so a giant thing fights him. The end of giant thing.
Yeah, that was just put in. That was really no reason.
Boom! It turns out he's half witch, so that he and the love interest aren't from different worlds. They're from the same world because they're both half witch, half not witch.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Then all the witches get together for a Malcor or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
And then they decide that they're going to go and destroy the town.
For the hell of it.
No, because they
killed
Barry.
Bearman.
They killed Barry.
Barry, there we go.
Yeah, they killed Barry.
Yeah, they killed Bearman, so they all go they instead of just traveling like they normally do, they have to have this huge scene where
I'm okay with that because it explains how they travel so quickly. The problem is they're flying these, smoky light ball things, and then they dip down and smash in the front gate, as opposed to just landing on the other side of the gate.
yeah,
It's more dramatic to smash through.
Yeah, that was my favorite part.
As opposed to like trapping the people inside they want to murder.
They're flying around mountains, around trees, and everything else, and they decide to go through the front door of the castle. Like, okay.
So I have two big problems with the scene that follows that. Number one, why was it 4 minutes long instead of the entire movie?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Like, because that was 4 minutes of a dragon wrecking a fucking city and people on fire getting eaten. Like, I would have watched that forever.
But it wasn't a dragon just like destroyed a city. It was a dragon just clumsily barreling through things. Like it didn't know what it was doing.
I'm okay with that
Yeah.
because buildings were falling down and people were getting eaten.
It was funny. I loved the whole part when he was trying to climb on the scaffolding, and it was like, I'm not rated for this.
Like, so
The sword guy was pretty awesome. He was just like murdering people left and right.
No, that was a really cool 4 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Panther Lady turned into a panther and killed 1 or 2 people. Good
she-
job, Panther Lady.
They were supposed to show her last. It's like, big dragon dude, sword guy, creepy Buddha man, cat lady.
She did leap from a building and took some guy off his horse, though.
Yeah, she was a pretty effective Puma. Yeah, Puma man. But number one, why was that 4 minutes instead of 84 minutes of the 90-minute runtime?
Yeah.
Number two, they wrecked the fuck out of that town in like 10 minutes. Like, burnt it to the ground.
Yeah.
I don't think they need to wait for the blood ritual moon eclipse to get their superpowers. You do that a dozen times, you've won? Like, there's not that many cities to wreck.
That whole thing was just like, it was fortified against a rock, if I remember correctly. So there's like a mountain behind it, and then just one gigantic wall going in front of it. Like, oh, it's a mountain there too. And that whole thing was on fire.
It's Helm's
when they
Deep.
left.
Like, it's Helm's Deep, and they wreck it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
To ash. Like, it's like, why are you waiting for the eclipse?
Why didn't you rescue Bear Man?
Like, the whole time Bear Man's in there, like, guys!
It's like, I could break out at any time. See, the store's open.
Steve can turn into a dragon. Why isn't Steve here? Come on, Steve!
They just literally let him die because they knew he was captured and they had all the power in the world to go get him.
They'd rather avenge him than rescue him.
We forgot to mention when all the guys are there showing up too. The first guy that shows up is the big dragon guy, and he brings his best lieutenants from his army.
His mightiest assassins.
His mightiest assassins. Jew note, mightiest assassins. About 12 of them, maybe 20 or so.
And there's a dozen at a time.
Yeah,
but they have ninja rules where no matter how many you kill, there's always a dozen of them.
Correct. And he presents them as a gift for whatever name
Malkin.
Malkin's return as her return present, and she's like,
no thanks.
No thanks,
but no thanks.
I don't need those.
And then she just kills one of them and is like, yeah, I totally don't want these shitty guys.
He looked at me wrong, so I'm going to kill him.
Yeah. That's not good leadership.
No, not particularly. I especially found it interesting that after she killed the one dude for looking at her, then the actual guy who owns the Assassin League just starts staring at her too, like.
Well, he's not a thug.
It's the ridiculous cuffs he was wearing that protected him. The dude has
he needs those cuffs to hide his Kratos blades.
Right. Sorry. This movie also has Kratos in it.
I didn't mind that much. That was actually really cool. I like that part.
My one issue with Kratos blades, we'll jump to the end here, and here's why I'd be a better villain than villains in movies. So he turns into a giant dragon.
We got all sorts of other good stuff talking about that.
Let's talk about the other things first. We'll jump to that first.
Yeah, we need to include important plot points, like when they're burning the village. What's his name? Tom, which is another generico name for our protagonist.
Tom.
Ward. Yeah,
because he's a
subtle.
ward. Yeah.
Subtle. Tom's mother shows up in the town and it's real. She's a witch, so she starts defending the town for 10 seconds before she's murdered too.
Yeah.
She kills Frog Guy really easily. He hops down and she like levitates a pitchfork, and he's like, huh, she's totally levitating a pitchfork. I wonder if I should do anything about this pitch. And then the pitchfork's in his sternum.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically how
And then
Voodoo Guy dies.
they bladify vampire death too. You know, and like I turn to dust as soon as I die.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she takes a really long time to levitate that pitchfork.
Long time. And then, like, it stabs him, and he's still not dead. It's, like, in his stomach, and he's like, oh, well, I sure have been stabbed in the stomach. I could probably do something about this, or I could just sit here while you walk up slowly and then stab me in the neck.
With your
Oh, you stabbed me. I guess I'm dead now. Dust.
I didn't want any speaking lines anyway.
I was the one lieutenant that wasn't given a name. Goodbye.
That's true, they even addressed him as my faithful warlock.
Yeah, he didn't get a name or anything. They had, you know, like, Ogdar, the King of Swords, and Batashko, the Leopard Woman, and this guy who's a warlock.
We should have figured out what his name was in the credits. Yeah, we just said, like, the warlock.
Shitty witch.
You know what happens when you hit that warlock with a bolt of lightning? Same thing as everything else. He was basically Toad.
Oh, he was Toad, yeah.
Yeah, completely Toad.
So then, Mom's defending village. Evil witch kills Mom because Mom betrayed her.
This will go to the ninja fight.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then it leads to the ninja fight.
Oh, the ninja fight.
They force love interest to steal the MacGuffin,
Yeah.
and then they attack with ninjas.
Yes. Very...
No, they're top-notch ninjas.
Finest assassins.
That's why they're
Top-notch
getting beaten
ninjas
up by
that-
3 people.
They always seem to show up in trees.
Yes.
Falling from trees, because that's how ninjas work.
Yeah.
Or
And
assassins.
They're,
Sorry.
They're good at jumping in front of you unarmed and then being punched in the face. Like, none of them do anything.
This guy...
They're also
this
good at
guy-
rushing at you headlong with no weaponry ready.
This pig farmer who has had maybe a day of actual training of how to use throwing a knife, not even how to use a stick.
And he trained how to get worse with it.
Yes. He just beats the crap
Yeah,
out
he
of
like single-handedly
ninjas.
gets like 4 or 5 of those assholes.
These people who have been trained their entire life to fight.
We don't know that.
Here's
Maybe
the
there was like
problem.
a 3-day course.
Here's the problem.
Or maybe his army was just that bad.
No,
These guys were...
they were that good. You see, they're used to fighting against really skilled opponents, so they don't understand how to fight against incompetent pig farmers. So they were just on a different level. They were trying to parry ahead of him, and he was too slow to be there, so he hit him in their face.
Oh, so they just threw him all off
It
balance.
threw him off balance. It's like, you know, if you give a race car driver a slower car, it fucks him up because he's used to going quickly.
Yeah. So, like he's ready to go and is in Chevy whatever, and you just give him
Does that explain the battering ram?
That was high tactics, okay? When you are fighting people in the woods, there are 2 things you need to do. Number 1, you need to make sure 2 of your guys are hanging off the edge of a cliff in case one of them falls off the cliff also, then they can pull him down further.
Yeah, you definitely have to have 2 of your ninjas hanging off the cliff to save either one of your fellow ninjas who get knocked off, or to pull somebody, one of the protagonists, down the cliff.
But they don't pull people that are already over the edge. They lasso ropes over the top of the cliff blindly around ankles whenever people are within 6 foot of the edge of the cliff. They just know that someone's there, and they know it's an enemy, so they just grapple them.
It'd be great to see the wide shot of that. It's like 20 ninjas all
Just all
around.
lassoing blindly.
What if we get something? Tail another deer.
It's not like they know that it's gonna be there. I mean,
And number 2 is you need to stash a battering ram near the cliff.
Yep.
Because if someone's near the edge, you can't just push them.
Nope.
You need to have 4 ninjas pick up a battering ram and comically run towards them like a cartoon.
But that's literally what they do. They just literally they scoop up a battery from nowhere, and 3 of them rush like with the shorter of the battery ram. I would have given them some credit. They would have turned like the battery ram sideways
For, like,
instead
the
of
wide.
Yeah,
No.
like now you can't get out of the way. No, they use it
well, Jason Statham is too slow to get out of the way.
they use it on Gregory like he's a goddamn door, and they take Statham with them.
Well, Gregory does the woo and then ducks out of the way.
Yes.
And then they hit Jason Statham.
He goes off the.
Which leads up to another great moment.
So then they end up. They knock off both of them off the edge of the cliff, and
Jason Statham and Tom Bombadil fall off the cliff,
Yep.
and they
And
kidnap Grogobar.
Yeah. Rubber ball.
Gregory.
Gregory Peck.
Because he was supposed to be taking a lot.
Maybe he was Gregory Peck.
No, I don't think. No.
Gregory Peck.
No.
No. Well, that's how Gregory Peck talks.
No.
Okay.
You're slowly getting off frame.
So Gregory's gone, and Tom Anyman and Statham are basically knocked off the cliff.
Yeah.
So they go down to Tom Anyman, and he's somehow miraculously alive, lying on some stones at the bottom of this.
Halfway down. It was a little outcropping halfway down the cliff.
Because a 60-foot fall never killed anybody.
Trees
slowed him down.
Oh.
They showed the trees of that.
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on.
Scientifically accurate. Come on.
And then he's lying in what seems to be a coma, or he's knocked out for
Having Jedi visions of his dead mom, who's projecting herself a la Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yep.
Like, don't worry, son. I'm dead now. Get the rock back and.
Yeah. And so he's there for a while, then he wakes up, he finds the staff next to him, then he looks a little bit further over the side, and there's Jason Statham holding by one hand, who's probably been holding on for like the past 30 minutes, waiting for somebody to wake up.
He was unconscious, and then he had strange villains and talked to somebody. He's saying like, "What you talking about? I'd really like to be rescued."
Yeah.
Did he get bored hanging there and just starts, making up poems and singing the Jeopardy theme song and, I spy something that rhymes with cliff.
It's not like, holy cow, I gotta rescue you. It's like, oh, you're hard to kill.
Yeah, he mocks him for hanging out of there while he was lying unconscious on a rock.
How the fuck did they get up the cliff?
Listen.
With the magic of the cutaway.
They had the montage, they had the cutaway. Did we skip the one good joke? There was one good joke.
Yeah, we did skip the one good joke.
Yeah. We can save that. No.
No, we'll let our audiences figure that joke out.
It's not worth seeing the movie for that one. God.
Yeah.
It'll be all over YouTube.
All right.
You've seen the commercials though, when he's handing like a
flask,
a gigantic flask over, and he's like, "What does that do? It solves courage, or
it gets rid of cowardice.
Yeah, it gets rid of cowardice."
Whatever.
Yeah, but anyway, he's drinking it, and then he hands one thing over to his ward, and
who has refused to drink it all up until now.
yeah. And so he finally takes a swig, and he's like, takes it back, and he's like, "You can only have this once a day." He's like, "Why?"
Because it's mine. There's your one joke.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was probably not.
The other joke was the movie. Existing.
Yeah.
Was a joke. So then Mumbles McGee goes and gets dragged in front of the villain.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And so the villain tries to turn him evil because now she has the magic MacGuffin necklace.
Yeah. Because it was always hers. It was stolen from her.
It was hers in the first place.
Yeah, many years ago.
And then love interest is like, "Oh no, I randomly have decided I don't like you having the MacGuffin anymore," so she steals it, and then the good guys show up and a fight scene happens.
Yeah.
Which, my favorite part about that whole fight sequence is...
Don't steal the part I was going to tell.
Oh, no, you probably don't think I was, but...
Okay, good.
Go.
So, there's a whole squabble over this magic, like, stone and Grumbles, McGee.
Yeah.
And the littlest witch goes up and grabs the rock and just runs amidst the army of ninjas and, like, the 3 surviving lieutenants, and everyone's like, "She's going, huh?"
Bye.
We should probably stop her, but I think the boss lady might have this, maybe.
We forget about the boss lady. Boss lady is actually her aunt.
Yeah.
And her sisters, and then the
boss
two
lady
sisters.
tries to catch her as a dragon.
Yep.
Yeah.
But her mom also turns into a dragon to protect that. So you get a dragon fight. So here's funny math, by the way. This movie had 3 fucking dragons.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How many did the heroes fight? 0 fucking dragons.
There was the tussle of the prologue.
0 dragons. You can't have 3 dragons in a movie, all of them evil, and have 0 of them get fought by the heroes.
No, the first one, she fought at the very, very, very beginning with him and his other apprentice.
She tried to run away, they netted her, and then she escaped. The end. That's not a fight. And that's setting her up as a threat so that you can have a fight at the end.
Yeah.
Not so that a different dragon can stab her and then she dies.
True.
But here's the thing, and here's why these villains are shitty, and why if I was a villain in real life, the heroes wouldn't win.
Is it Digimon Hindu?
It's Digimon. Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon captures power. So Digimon is a giant dragon.
With
Huge
Kratos
fucking
blades.
dragon with giant Kratos blades.
Yeah.
The Kratos blades also grow to his size. I guess they're part of him. I don't know. It's like Spawn.
Yeah.
So he's a giant goddamn dragon.
Yeah.
And the unarmed hero is like, you fight me like a dragon? Do you have no honor? Which the correct response of the villain is
chomp?
to eat his face and kill him to death forever.
Well, that was like
You're
the
a
second.
fucking villain. You don't turn human and fight him in a fair fight.
His honor thing was also after he was just breathing into his face. Like,
Yeah,
full
the, like,
bore.
I could be attacking, but I'd rather you smell my breath before you die.
Yeah. Yeah.
You kill him and go, oops, I guess I have no honor, but you're fucking dead.
Yeah. As opposed to, I don't know, turning back into a person and giving him one of your Kratos blades?
Yeah. And then losing inexplicably.
Yeah, I had a hard time putting
I
those
don't-
images together. Like, I don't... They go through this big tussle where they're using the Kratos blades to knock down pillars and swing at each other and all this nonsense. And there's some weird cutting, you know, like editing or something, and suddenly the guy's lying on the ground with a Kratos blade in his chest.
So he Kratos blades a pillar and tips it over to smash the hero.
Right.
The hero falls down on his back, and Kratos blades the pillar behind him, and then he just pulls his Kratos blade out, and then the guy falls down, and then the guy stabs him with his Kratos blade.
That's pretty much it.
That's literally it. Like,
Yeah,
no
then-
dodge, no block, no knocking him over. He just kind of falls down.
And then he turns to dust.
Yeah.
Well, but we missed all the fights that Tom Anyman can do.
Oh, yeah, Tom Anyman who could handle the guy with all the swords, who's the sword
And
fanatic.
Leopard Lady.
And Leopard Lady.
Both of them, you just go, boop, you're dead.
Well, I mean, the leopard lady was the leopard lady. Like,
Well-
he gets the magic MacGuffin powers up the strange staff, and
Yeah.
he just like zap, you're dead. And then he sneaks up on Sword Dude and melts him when he's trying to murder the littlest witch.
The MacGuffin imbued the staff with the power of anticlimactic villain defeating.
Yes.
Because two of the lieutenants just goes, you're dead, you're
Yeah.
dead.
This is the same crew that raised the city in minutes flat, and the casualties happen to them even faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Mama Dragon. Mama Dragon kills Sister Dragon.
Yeah.
But the Sister Dragon, like, mortally wounds her.
Mama Dragon kills Sister Dragon because she betrayed her.
Yeah.
And up until now, Mama Dragon has known betrayal only as something humans do. Despite that betrayal that a previous witch had done in stealing the MacGuffin necklace.
And also stole the MacGuffin necklace many years ago.
The other witch that also stole the MacGuffin necklace.
Yeah, many
so
years ago.
this is the third time she's been betrayed in about an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Then Malcoy or whatever, I can't think of her name. She ends up retreating back into her thing, and Marbles McJawson has to go and find her to end this, and they, you know, she's like...
He, like an idiot, walks up to her, and she starts to kill him.
Yeah.
But like, she starts to weakly strangle him because the thing is, she's dead. Like, she's dying. Like, she's bleeding out. The heroes literally could have just left and she'd have died.
Yeah.
Like, none of the villains died in any kind of climactic or satisfying
Kind of
way.
makes you wonder how the hell they died so easy, because remember the first time you encounter Sister Dragon, and it's like, he burnt us all! He beat the hell out of us! Like, you don't survive that! You're dead! But no, you're a powerful witch, so maybe you're just burnt. Meanwhile, Mama Dragon gets stabbed, and then gets stabbed by a smaller knife and is dead.
The guy threw a throwing knife into her lower side. That
Oh, I thought it
kills
was in a
witches.
thigh.
Who the hell knows?
Does it matter?
I really thought it just went like straight into her thigh.
The most powerful of witches, which you've demonstrated, can still be pretty much incinerated
Well,
and survive?
That was the problem. So she died, and then they decided to burn her body, but she never actually turned into paper. Like she'd never disintegrated it. You know, like everybody else when they die, all the other witches when they die, they disintegrate like Blade. Like when the Blade kills a vampire, they just
Like Buffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just disintegrate into ash and everything, except for that last witch who just, well, she didn't.
They ran out of
she
special effects
died.
budget, so they just lit a couch on fire.
Yes. The end.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, that's one of the lieutenants just gets chained and burned. Another lieutenant just gets killed by a pitchfork by the mom.
Yeah.
Then
Not even a magical pitchfork.
That's a regular
then
pitchfork.
the second most powerful one and the most powerful one kill each other due to no interference from the protagonist whatsoever.
Yeah.
Then two of the other ones just die from being lightly brushed with a magic stick.
Yeah.
And then the third one somehow loses a duel he should totally win after turning into not a dragon.
Yes.
Like, there's no climactic defeating of any of them. There's no comeuppance. There's no anything.
Yeah, so we get about 10 minutes of fighting sequence, 5 of which is not very noteworthy.
Yeah.
And then another, hour and 20 minutes of forced, badly written love interest?
Love interest, just random training sequences that make no sense.
There's one training sequence. The rest of it is Mumbles mumbling.
Yeah, that's what I mean, is that they make no sense.
What they're talking about. I will talk only with my lips and my underbite.
I just... The villain deaths just are so inexplicable to me.
Yeah.
Like,
They're not like chumps.
There was no setup. Like, none of them died for plot-related reasons. They all just rolled a 1 on a savings throw at random points in time in the fight. Like, there was nothing. There was no setup.
They did feel very much like the oops dead mechanic. Like,
Yeah.
The problem I have is when you have, like, troopers or something like that that are trained, like, they're Green Berets, basically. And you have them go against, like, you and I. Like, if you and I suddenly go, hey, let's go on a mission, we're going to save the world, and then we go battle the Green Berets, we're not going to be saving the world because the Green Berets will kill us.
Yeah.
It's just flat out. But no,
Speak
just
for
because
yourself.
just because I got to watch a Jackie Chan flick and I mimicked some of his bow staff moves in, like, The Drunken Master or something like that, no. I'm not going to be some guys who've trained their entire life.
And the worst part is they could have fixed some of these problems with some pretty easy, like, storytelling changes. Instead of giving Tom Anyman a week to train, at least give him, like, a month. Change it from best assassins to, I got a lot of dudes I can throw at him.
Well, they could have. I mean, they didn't even need the first guy there. They could have just said about how many other people just died underneath him as apprentices. They could have just said, like, oh, remember Billy or something like that, maybe a quick flashback. But he could have been training with them for 10 years. And
Or the guy could have not had assassins.
Yeah. I mean, having an army of assassins is like, I didn't want to call them soldiers. It's like Subway going sandwich artist.
I mean, he didn't even need thugs. Like, why not just have him?
Yeah, that's true.
Be him. He could have just turned into a dragon and chased him through the woods and knocked 2 of them off a cliff and abducted the 3rd. You don't need thugs for that.
Well, then you wouldn't have a battering ram ninjas. If
That
you
was an
actually
essential
had-
part
So
of
you're
play.
agreeing with me then.
Well, I want battering ram ninjas.
You don't want battery.
No,
I want
that moment was so surreal. It
was-
deserves to be mentioned.
That and the It's Mine, both of those were like the best parts of that film. 3 parts.
The
And
names are
and
self-explanatory was the other funny line. Like, what's the difference between rock throwers and cattle rippers? Well, rock throwers throw rocks and cattle rippers rip cattle. The names are kind of self-explanatory. That I liked. That was the good part of the training montage.
Yeah.
Also, the sister witch had really nice tits.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I enjoyed
I'm
looking
pretty
at
certain
them.
her Lieutenant Power was amazing cleavage.
Like, it was hilarious because the big bad lady gets back to her castle in the mountains, and there's decrepit, shriveled witch, and she's all, like, hunched over and mummified and got the metal mask, and then so big bad mama maltreatment heals her, and then the next scene they're walking to the house, and she's got giant tits hanging out of a corset. I'm like, she did a good job healing.
Yeah. There was some work, and there was like, let's first one in the face, let's work our way down here, and there we go.
Yeah. And since it was Julianne Moore, I'm just like, come on, reenact Chloe here. The Switch movies. Switch movies.
Yeah, I'd like to think that this is a direct sequel to The Big Lebowski. Which is an absolute direct sequel. You watch both these together, you're like, oh, that makes sense now. Because, the dude and Maude, they had the kid together.
Yeah.
and they were not really lovers, but they were lovers or so. And I'm guessing that she kind of he got over her. Seems like pretty quick. Even in the show, the rest of the Big Lebowski got over with her. I think maybe she got a little clingy.
What if this was a film that he and she made together in the Big Lebowski verse? Like, this is another Gutter Ballers.
There was some fanfic up. Like, Liz got bored, like, don't really spice up our lives, write some fanfic about ourselves.
Yeah, I could see Maude going into this, you know? Like, log jamming and Gutter Ballers, but
Alright, but I'm only in if I can talk with my lips and an underbite.
Yeah.
They're fantastically hot.
Yeah. I'm going with this as being official. You can't take that away from me.
Okay, I'll give that to you.
It's fucking terrible.
So yeah, I would. This would probably be an easy non-recommendation for
Easy peasy.
Easy. I mean, it's better than RoboCop. It's got more. We're definitely more energetic about after seeing this movie than we were about RoboCop.
It's almost a good bad movie.
Yeah, it's very close to
during it. It's just bad, but it is mockable. Like it isn't fun with it bad, but afterwards I will mock the shit out of how bad this movie was. Which is the same with Dracula Untold. Dracula Untold was abominable while I'm watching, and then afterwards you're just like, how did she not explode like a watermelon? Like, why was that guy traveling with literally tons of silver coins that are no help on a battlefield? You know, like, you can make fun of that afterwards.
Why does he just make it night all the time? Because, you know, he can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why didn't you just so like 2 days before you ran ahead and just killed off the entire army? Why didn't you do that again?
Why did they all march blindfolded into a valley? Oh, Christ, that movie was terrible also.
Yeah. I will say I think Dracula was worse than Seventh Son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this. Like I said, this is probably the most enjoyable of the shitty movies that we've seen.
I Frankenstein was better.
Yeah.
I enjoyed I Frankenstein.
Like, you can go back to that one and watch
Frankenstein.
it and actually legitimately have fun, like, just tearing it apart.
Yeah.
When that one popped up on Netflix, I went back and watched it, like, this is ridiculous. Especially knowing, like, the whole, like, Shadow War, pyrotechnic death thing.
Yeah, I Frankenstein was legitimately enjoyable to watch because it was terrible. This wasn't quite like that during it. This was just, what the heck is going on?
Yeah. I wish, I'm kind of going back to I Frankenstein, I wish it had more comedic timing in there. Like, there's that one shot in that movie that's like, just, like, comedic. The whole axe thing.
Yeah.
That was great. I wish this movie had more of that.
Well, the I Frankenstein team, you can really tell that they were trying to be all cool and, like, neo-gothic and everything like that. And they just didn't know what they were doing.
This movie tried to have subtle humor in it. Like, they tried to have the dude's mannerisms be humorous, and they tried to have little things like Tom asking for the supplies that he was supposed to get and claiming they were the supplies he needed to kill the witch that he was asking to rescue. And none of them worked as humor.
It felt like a kid who saw something cool on TV and said, I can do that.
Yeah. Like, and so they didn't put jokes and stuff in there because you were supposed to laugh at those things that were supposed to be subtle. And instead of being subtle, they just weren't funny.
Yeah, I really think that they really tried to capture lightning again, because this is a series of kids' books as well.
Yeah.
And I think they really wanted to have it be like a Harry Potter, so they could just bankroll it and just go. It just the fact that we just learned too that the main protagonist is a 12-year-old. Isn't he?
In the books, yeah.
In the books.
Certainly not in the movie.
In this one, he has a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah.
He is definitely in his mid-20s.
Yeah, which is weird because the littlest witch, like, you can tell they were trying to age her down through the makeup and clothes. Like, it seemed like she should have been.
Until then, in the last scene, she had a corset and it was really creepy and boobs.
Yeah. Plus, oh my God! So Mama Witch, who's the mom of
the good guy's mama witch, not the bad guy's mama witch.
It's the mom of the seventh son.
Okay, so protagonist mom.
So she pooped out 8 kids.
At least 8.
At least 8.
Because she had 7 sons, and then he has a younger sister.
Yep. Yeah. Looks really good.
Yeah, she's a total MILF.
He's totally a witch. I would like to F.
Yeah.
Like, and she had to have had him, her 7th kid, when she was 7 years old, maybe 8.
I think witches reproduce in litters.
Yeah, yeah, because she can't be more than 10 years older than him. And she's his 7th kid.
So no, she
Or
just
he's her
had
seventh kid.
sextuplets,
Yeah.
and then him.
A year later,
A year later had him, and then 20
age
years
12.
later had the daughter.
And is herself still only in her 30s.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Well, witches age remarkably well. We can go with that one, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess that's a case.
I know I'm trying to
because
justify
all
it.
witches actually really looked nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Even Cheetah Lady looked pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Juliana Moore, I think, like I said
Yeah.
earlier,
No, she was-
the cast.
She was actually smoking hot.
The IMDb cast list for this is a to Google list for later. Because I just need to Google each of those women to double check something. I have an example though of what you're talking about with like it seems like a kid saw another thing and thought that that's how you write stuff. There's an example of what
Does that relate to the cleavage? Because
no, this is to the humor, and this is an example of the badness of the humor. So, boring McCrappy protagonist is mad at Mumbles McMarbles, and he throws a sword and it hits right in front of his face into the wall, bong, to stop him from walking away. And Mumbles is like, "Oh, your aim's really good," because it was a perfect throw right in front of him. And the guy's like, "I was aiming for your head." That's the end of your fucking joke. That's always the end of that joke, because that's an old joke.
Yeah.
But instead, then Mumbles McTalkyPants goes, "Well, you missed my head." Yes, we know he missed your head. That was the punchline that we already did just then when it was the punchline.
Also,
That's not how jokes are told.
you sure? Because I could write a joke like that too.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Who? Or boo, boo.
Boo hoo.
Don't cry. Because you said boo-hoo, and that sounds like you're crying.
Oh, I see what you did.
But in
there.
reality, you were saying who to boo because you thought boo was the name of the person at the door. That is the joke.
I've got the greatest.
I'm glad that you explained it because that increased the humor value.
I've got the greatest knock-knock joke in the world.
Okay, go ahead.
You have to start it. Though.
I tried to turn it around on you. Fuck it. Fuck it.
One other small little Easter egg that you have to do too, as you're watching the credits.
Yeah.
There is a guy's name who reaches pretty much almost all the way across the credits.
Because they have 3 columns of names, and his is so big that it, in the middle, stretches through the gap between both columns and goes halfway into columns 1 and 3.
Yeah.
He has 5 names, all of which are clichédly Polish in length.
It's pretty amazing.
It was a very complex Mormon marriage.
Yeah. So this movie, don't watch it. No, actually watch it.
No,
Shows
no,
up
no,
on
no, no,
Netflix.
no, 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 no.
Wait for Netflix.
Don't. I will just say solid don't watch it.
Wait for Netflix. Get good and drunk with your friends beforehand.
Again, I mean, sure, if you're drunk enough, anything's a
Every
decent
time
kill time, but
it's-
there's other...
It's actually, no, the best role for it is actually as background noise. So you can look over at the pretty Wilfs and the couple of fights you consider worth watching, and the Ninja Battering Ram, and ignore all the long, stagnant, no punchline jokes and poorly done love interest.
It's too stagnant, it's too boring, it's too long. There's an hour before that big fight scene, and there's like nothing before that. It's not drinking game crappy sci-fi Saturday movie with your buddies like a Shark Tornado, Sharknado kind of thing. It's not.
Yeah.
It's like I Frankenstein is that kind of movie and back it up. This was not. I don't even see doing that.
I will say the makeup, generally, visually, the movie was pretty solid.
Yeah, it was
all the way through, except for the makeup for Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Man,
That was really bad.
they try to make the guy look like an ogre, and literally he looks like the makeup from Jason Statham in Craig 2.
Well, and
when
here's
he
another
goes into
problem.
a freak out
is
giant
Jason Statham doesn't talk, so he does a lot of hand gesturing. When you have characters do a lot of hand gesturing, you don't make it look like he's wearing mittens with fingers painted on them.
Yeah. Mittens and then just mouth.
Think about how do you make this movie and not have a half-hour big dramatic sequence of battling that dragon? of figuring out how to kill it, of people with ballistas and fires and armies and like
hell, even if
like,
even if the MacGuffin made the staff shoot fireballs out of it,
something,
you know?
like some big fight scene with buildings falling down and the dragon attacking you, like this, anything. Instead, there's 2 minutes of the dragon wrecking a city, and then there's 30 seconds of him roaring at a guy and then turning back into a human and dying. How do you squander a dragon like that? And then you have 2 other dragons, and instead of fighting them, they just kill each other.
They're gonna do barrel rolls.
They do barrel rolls and kill each other while the heroes are fighting thugs.
Because I actually liked the design of the Mama, witch dragon. Like that was a really neat design.
It's just so squandered.
Yeah.
Yep.
The heroes don't fight a single fucking one of them. The heroes don't kill a single villain in an interesting or plot-specific or set-up Chekhov's gun way.
Yeah.
There's no, God, fuck it.
Yeah, come to think of the most dramatic character death is the Bogart.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that was just put into the movie to add some extra time and separate the protagonist.
The thing was there to show that the protagonist had gone from pig farmer to legitimate warrior. By randomly killing some random monster.
With the help of a lot of gravity.
With gravity. Yes, the thing falls off a cliff and hits its head on a rock, but he was falling also, so that counts for his XP pool. He's claiming that.
Alright, so that's it. I'm gonna call it now.
Alright. Also, don't eat 2 pies. That was my other mistake.
Yeah. Thanks.
Night.
Yeah.
Oh, alright. Yeah?
Yeah, we're giving it a nah.
What do you say?
Oh, deadfall. Alright, now I'm done. Squandered.